The test is in 4-part, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1. Part 1.
Well, we run two business courses here, the BA and the MBA. Which course were you interested in?
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 3.
Hi.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to enrol in your business course.
Well, we run two business courses here, the BA and the MBA. Which course were you interested in?
I don't have a degree, so I won't be able to study the MBA.
That's right. OK, if you'd like to give me some details, I'll complete an application form and someone from the business department will contact you directly. First, what's your name?
Jane Kinsella.
Kinsella. Could you spell that for me?
It's Kinsella.
OK, and how old are you, Jane?
Well, my date of birth is the 4th of August 1982.
Good, thanks. Can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from Britain.
And where do you live now?
Number 32 Maich Road, Auckland.
Can you spell your road name for me?
Yes, it's Maich.
Right, thank you.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 4 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 4 to 10.
Thank you. Do you have a contact number?
Only a mobile. It's 021 455 7326.
And what are you doing now?
Well, I was working in a shop until 2 weeks ago, but at the moment I'm not doing anything.
Good. Now, if we can move on to your education. Do you have any qualifications?
As I said, I don't have a degree, but I do have 4 A levels.
I'll write that down. So your ideal choice is to study the BA in Business Studies, is that right?
Yes, that's right. If I can't enrol in that course, I'll wait until the next intake.
OK, so no second choice of study. Tell me, why do you want to study the BA in Business?
Well, I'm very interested in becoming self-employed at some time in the future, but I need some experience in a larger company first, and they won't accept people without a BA.
And how will you pay for the course?
I'll use my savings for most of the course, and if I have any problems, I'll take a part-time job, but I hope I won't have to.
That's fine. I'll just write savings. And now a final question. Do you mind if I ask you why you want to study here?
Not at all. Your course was actually recommended by a friend. He's in his 2nd year now, but he thinks it's very good.
OK, that's great. I'll hand your application to the admissions office and they'll contact you from there.
Thanks very much. Bye.
That is the end of Part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to Part 2. Part 2.
You will hear a student called Sarah talking to her college tutor about some research she has to do as part of her course.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
So, you want to talk about your research project?
That's right. I want to find out how many people use the Tourist Information Office and what they think of the service they get.
Interesting. Have you written your proposal yet?
No, that's what I wanted to ask you about. What should I include? Someone said I should make a list of my aims first.
Well, I don't know about a list. A statement of aims is the correct term. It's just a quick summary of what you hope to get out of the project.
OK, and should I include other documents I've prepared, like the questionnaire? I'm still working on that.
I can check that later, but I think it's good to prepare an information sheet for participants. It would help you to think about interview methods. It'd be good to see that soon.
Oh, right. And I want the project to have statistical data, not just to be a collection of opinions.
That's good. So that should be clear from the proposal too.
Great. So what else must I include in the proposal? Or are some things optional?
OK, some things that people normally put in a research proposal don't really apply to you, like any costs involved. That can be really important in some research projects, but as we don't have a budget, it's not something you need to include. Any costs have to come out of your own pocket, I'm afraid.
Yes, I understand that.
But I do need to know your criteria for choosing who to interview. I've got to check that you're using good sampling principles, for example.
Sure. And what about the way I'm going to analyse my findings?
That's not essential at the proposal stage on this project, but if you've got some ideas, include them, because it could save time later.
OK. And do I need to make it clear how the report will be organised?
Oh, I'm going to be giving you a template to use, so there's no need to go into that in the proposal.
Great, thanks.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Actually, another thing we could discuss now is making sound recordings of interviews.
Oh, right. Do I have to record them all? I could try to get as many as possible, but it'd be rather expensive.
Yes, don't worry. You only need a few chosen randomly just to give an idea of how the interviews are going. You can send one in each time you update me on your progress.
OK. How often should I do that? I haven't done a timetable for the interviews yet, but they'll be spread over 3 or 4 weeks, with about 200 in total. I reckon on doing 20 a day.
Let me know how you're getting on at the end of each day's interviewing then, whether you've had any problems or not. It can be a lonely job.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
And what about the confidentiality of participants? Because that can cause problems.
Well, I'm getting them to sign a consent form. It says that I'll only use the information for my research, that I won't pass it on to anyone else. But that's the only promise I'm making. They have to give me their names and agree to their data being stored on the college computer network.
That sounds good. You won't put names in your report, I know, and the data will all get deleted at the end of the year, but we don't promise any of that.
Sure.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Part 3.
As part of our lecture series on everyday health issues, today's talk is on tiredness. We shall look at the main issues in turn, as well as some of the main research that has been carried out in this field.
First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Good morning. As part of our lecture series on everyday health issues, today's talk is on tiredness. We shall look at the main issues in turn, as well as some of the main research that has been carried out in this field. Firstly, it is clear that tiredness is on the rise. No official data exists on the rate of people reporting to doctors with recurring tiredness, but it's a very common complaint. Research suggests that people are not relaxing properly and often work when they do not have enough energy. Furthermore, products to boost energy are also on the rise. Sales of so-called energy drinks loaded with caffeine and sugar have grown by 23% over the last year. And this is not the only instance of an increase in products claiming to boost energy. Guarana, a herbal stimulant, can now be found in everything from chocolate bars to tea bags. Now let's examine what it is that's making people so tired. Dr. Liebhold, a Sydney GP, has done extensive research into this, and he believes that financial pressures, not taking holidays, and not having time off when you become ill due to fear of losing your job are all common causes. Some of the other suggested causes are low oxygen levels in offices, poor diet, or illness. The problem is that tiredness is a symptom of just about every kind of illness, which makes tracking down the cause all the more difficult. The next question to ask is, are people getting enough sleep? Dr. Mansfield from Melbourne's Epworth Sleep Centre, who specialises in sleep disorders, says insomnia often arises when people are going through a stressful period. Mansfield often needs to re-educate people in how to get off to sleep. He recommends keeping your body clock regular by going to bed and rising at similar times every day, and not drinking too much caffeine. And there is some truth in the old story about having a glass of hot milk before bed. Milk contains the amino acid tryptophan, which has been shown to help induce sleepiness. Turning to the question of why we need sleep, researchers are still trying to answer this fundamental question. Sleep deprivation experiments have shown that after 14 days without sleep, rats will lie down and die. And after only 3 days sleep loss, humans get confused, forgetful, and start having hallucinations. So whatever sleep does, it is important.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
However, not all researchers feel the same way. Trent Watson of the Dietitians Association is not convinced by McMahon's theory, explaining that our bodies don't really like to burn protein as a fuel, so it doesn't really contribute to energy levels. Carbohydrates, however, found in fruit, breads and pastas, are a more common fuel. Anyone following a rigidly high-protein diet with low carbohydrates, even if they are operating at low intensity during the day, could subject themselves to fatigue because they just don't have the carbohydrate stores, Watson says. In general, a good way to stay energised from a dietary point of view is to eat red meat, green leafy vegetables and whole grains. These foods give red blood cells the building blocks for optimum performance in their role of delivering oxygen to muscles. To sum up, Tiredness is a health problem on the increase, and there continues to be much debate surrounding its causes and remedies. Now, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
Part 4. Hear a talk given by Don Parker, an expert on computer security, about the computer criminals. As you listen to the talk, fill in the gaps numbered 31 to 40. First, you will have some time to look at the notes below. Now listen to the talk.
Hi there. As an expert on computer security, my job is to oversee and analyse the phenomenon in computer users. Computer has been commonplace in our daily life, make our life and work efficiently and lively. However, with the development of the computer technology, computer crime has come to arise more people's attention. Now, in respect of this topic, I will present some of my view and studies. What kinds of people are perpetrating most of the information technology crime? According to my research, over 80% may be employees. The rest are outside users, hackers and crackers and professional criminals. It is amazing that employees amount for this large portion. Let us see them in detail. Employees. Employees are those with the skills, the knowledge, and the access to do bad things. Dishonest or disgruntled employees pose a far greater problem than most people have realized. To most supervisors and some experts, they worry that dishonest employees or outsiders can more easily intercept communications or steal company trade secrets. Workers may use information technology for personal profit or steal hardware or information to sell. They may also use it to seek revenge for real or imagined wrongs, such as being passed over for promotion. Sometimes they may use the technology simply to demonstrate to themselves that they have the power over people. This may have been the case with a Georgia printing company employee convicted of sabotaging the firm's computer system. As files mysteriously disappeared and the system randomly crashed, other workers became so frustrated and enraged that they quit. Outside users. Suppliers and clients may also gain access to companies' information technology and use it to commit crime. With both, this becomes more a possibility as electronic connections, such as electronic data interchange systems, become commonplace. Hackers and crackers. What are hackers? Hackers are people who gain unauthorized access to computer or telecommunications systems for the challenge or even the principle of it. Crackers also gain unauthorized access to information technology, but do so for malicious purposes. Crackers attempt to break into computers and deliberately obtain information for financial gain, to shut down hardware, pirate software, or destroy data. The tolerance for hackers as the benign explorer has decreased. Most communication systems administrators view any kind of unauthorized access as a threat, and they pursue the offenders vigorously. And educators also try to point out to students that university cannot provide an education for everybody if hacking continues. Professional criminals. Members of organized crime rings don't just steal information technology, they use it in a legal way as a business tool, but for illegal purposes. For instance, databases can be used to keep track of illegal gambling debts and stolen goods. Drug dealers have used pages as link to customers. Microcomputers, scanners, and printers can be used to forge checks, immigration papers, passports and driver's licenses. Telecommunications can be used to transfer funds illegally. As information technology crime has become more sophisticated, in 1988, after the last widespread internet break-in, the US Department created the Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT. Although it has no power to arrest or prosecute, CERT provides round-the-clock international information and security-related support services to users of the Internet. Whenever it gets a report of an electronic snooper, whether on the Internet or on a corporate email system, CERT stands ready to lend assistance. It counsels the party under attack, helps them thwart the intruder, and evaluates the system afterwards to protect against future break-ins.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Ms. Parminder. In this video, we will discuss about task 1 of writing module, so you get an idea how to write a bar graph. So without wasting any time, let's start with the video. Now take a look on today's bar graph. The graph below shows the amount of tea and coffee imported by 4 different countries and summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main points and make comparisons where relevant. Here you can see the amount of tea and coffee is given in tons and which is imported by 4 countries, namely Australia, New Zealand, US and Canada. Now take a quick look on data. Australia imports 20,000 tons of tea and 80,000 tons of coffee. And New Zealand imports 10,000 tons of tea, which is the lowest proportion as compared to other countries. And 40,000 tons of coffee, which is again least proportion. And the US imports 90,000 tons of tea and 50,000 tons of coffee. And Canada imports 70,000 tons of tea and 90,000 tons of coffee. So this is our bar graph. Now we will discuss sample answer. First, look at introduction. In this paragraph, we will rephrase the given statement of task 1. Now let's read. The graph below shows the amount of tea and coffee imported by 4 different countries. The bar graph gives information about how much coffee and tea are imported by 4 countries, namely Australia, New Zealand, the US and Canada. And the data is calibrated into tons. Here you can see the data is given into tons. So this is our introduction. Now we will discuss PP1. In this paragraph, we will discuss about 2 countries, Australia and New Zealand. Now let's read. To begin with Australia and New Zealand, 80,000 tons of coffee is imported by Australia and this amount of coffee is twofold, means doubled than that of New Zealand. As you can see, 80,000 tons of coffee is imported by Australia and this amount of coffee is twofold, means doubled than that of New Zealand. And both nations import 20,000 and 10,000 tons of tea orderly. As you can see, both nations import 20,000 and 10,000 tons of tea orderly. So this is the end of PP1. Now we will discuss the US and Canada in body paragraph 2. Now let's read. With regards to the country of US and Canada, the amount of tea that is imported by the US is 90,000 tons. As you can see, 90,000 tons of tea is imported by the US, whilst Canada imports the same amount of coffee. As you can see, Canada imports the same amount of coffee by 90,000 tons. And the difference between the amount of tea and coffee that is imported by both countries is 20,000 tons. As you can see, the difference between both countries in tea and coffee is 20,000 tons and 50,000 tons of coffee is imported by the US. and Canada imports 70,000 tons of tea. So this is the end of PP2. Now we will write overview. In this paragraph, we will write the striking features of the bar graph. Now let's read. Overall, the US imports the highest amount of tea. As you can see, the US imports highest amount of tea, but Canada imports maximum amount of coffee, and both amounts are equal by 90,000 tons. So this is the end of our video. Hope you learned something. I will see you guys in the next video. If you like this video of writing module, so you get an idea how to write it. So without wasting any time, let's start with the question. Now look at our today's topic. Intelligence is the most important quality for a leader. Do you agree or disagree? Means intelligence is the extremely important quality for a leader. Do you agree with this statement or not? In this essay, we will discuss that we are fully disagree with this statement that intelligence is the most important quality for a leader. And there are also many other traits which are important to become a leader. So this is our topic. Now look at our essay format. In this essay, we will write 4 paragraphs. The first one is introduction. In this paragraph, we will introduce our essay topic. And the second one is BP1 and the third one is BP2. In body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, we will discuss other qualities to become a leader. And the last one is conclusion of our essay, and this is our essay format. Now look at the first paragraph of the essay, which is the introduction. Leaders inspire the public and leads them to a successful state. This is a general statement that leaders inspire the public and leads them to a successful state. And to become a successful and admirable leader, intellectuality means intelligence is an important factor, but other traits are also crucial, means important. And eventually, I am completely discordance with the assertion as means because leadership require the blend of qualities, means mixture of qualities, and I will discuss numerous reasons to bolster my viewpoint. This is our thesis statement that I will discuss many reasons to strengthen my viewpoint. So this is the introduction of the essay. Before starting BP1, I would like to tell you, in this paragraph, we will write some examples of leaders to make our viewpoint strong. Now let's read. Firstly, leaders should be versatile in nature, means leaders should be flexible or adaptable in nature so they can prove as a role model for people. So this is our first point. Now we will give example. Mr. Navjot Singh Sidhu was a communicative minister of Congress party in Punjab, which is a prime example of it. Now we will write second point. Excellent interpersonal and communication skills can help a visionary to make strong bonds with international countries. Means leaders should have excellent interpersonal and communication skills to make strong bonds with international countries. Now we will give example. India's Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi is the prime or principal instance for it, means principal example for it. He has made strong bonds or relationships with other nations through his etiquettes, means good manners along with oratory skills. So this is our BP1. Now we will discuss body paragraph 2. Politeness and understanding the public helps a leader to become spotlight. Means politeness and understanding the public is another major requirement to become a leader. For instance, teachers, doctors, retailers can make their business more prolific, means beneficial, by inculcating these values. And they communicate their ideas of knowledge and awareness very politely. Now we will discuss other qualities to become a leader. Now let's read. Integrity and optimism are another boundless qualities that makes a visionary complete person. Means a leader should have integrity and optimism that makes a visionary, means leader, a complete person. To exemplify it, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, ex-president of India, had efficient, positive attitude, and his kind attributes will always electrify human beings to help the poor and needy people. So this is the end of BP2. Now look at conclusion of the essay. To reiterate my opinion, amalgamation means blend of many characteristics are required for the successful and respectable visionary, and a multi-talented leader can fulfill each desires of the masses, means people. Moreover, leaders enhance means improve unity of the nation through togetherness, and they give society, city and country means nation a concrete aspect. So this is our conclusion of the essay. Now look at the vocabulary that we have used in this essay. Traits means characteristics or quality. Crucial means important. Assertion, opinion. Bolster, strengthen. Versatile means adaptable or flexible. Prolific, fruitful. Amalgamation, combination. Enhance means increase. So this is our vocabulary. You can take screenshot if you like, and you should use these kinds of words in your essay in order to fetch high band score. So this is the end of our video. Hope you learned something. I will see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, then hit on the like button, share this video with your family and friends, and subscribe to our channel for more IELTS related videos. Thank you and all the very best for your IELTS exam.